After going to see an Oasis tribute band at the Tan Hill Inn in the Yorkshire Dales on Friday night, dozens of guests got trapped in the pub for 3 days by the heavy snow. All they needed was a bit of sunshine. A little bit of sunshine to clear the paths.
All right there, mate. How you doing, my cocker? How you doing, mate?
I thought you sounded like Marky Smith there.
I went for Marky Smith, didn't I? I'm the fucking business, mate. I'm the fucking best. I'm a lad from Burnage. I'm fucking mint, me.
Hey, I am a lad from Burnage, though.
You are a lad from Burnage. Didn't you know Oasis, Lee? Did you know Liam Gallagher at all?
No. I saw him a couple of times. I mean, I didn't obviously know who he was. His school was just around the corner from where I live, so...
Bow!
I always used to...
Catholic fucking school, mate.
It was Barlow High.
That's right.
The only story I have from that time was when... I think I've told this on the pod, when we were playing football in a local park, and Paul Gallagher, the older one... and Noel, I'm sure Noel was there as well, with a couple of other kids, started playing football with us and then nicked our ball.
Why does that not surprise me? Fucking wankers.
Yeah.
Fucking ball. What tools.
So this, you texted me on Monday
Yes, I
saying
did.
we should do a pod taking the piss out of the Oasis reunion.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Mad for it.
Mad for it, mate. Let's fucking coin it in.
So you're getting your tickets. Are they on sale tomorrow, are they?
Well, funnily enough, interestingly, we've been having a debate tonight about this, because my wife is actually trying to get tickets.
Really?
And I said, well, if you can get them, if you want, get me one. She said, but if I get you one, you'll get that, and you'll just moan about everybody who's there being scum.
Where are they playing near you?
I'll go in the spirit of it all, as they're throwing fucking plastic containers full of piss through the air, which I believe is what happened last time they played at Heaton Park.
Well, Heaton Park is a shit venue, if you ask me.
It's horrible.
I've never actually experienced the gig there, because I've always heard shit things about it, like the sound's crap, and it just seems to attract. Heaton Park gig seems to attract the scally. I was going to say the scally element, and it'll be 10 times that with Oasis playing.
Well, that's what I heard last
There's
time.
always stabbings, isn't there? And fights. So I'm swerving that.
Are you contemplating going to see him at all, Lee?
Not at all, no.
Don't think.
Though the thing is, I will obviously encounter them. It reminds me of when the Stone Roses reformed.
Yeah.
And I was coming home from work, passing through Manchester city centre, and God, just seeing the amount of middle-aged men in bucket hats acting all leery.
I think that's why it's like last year we went to see Johnny Marr and the Charlatans. You go and see the Charlatans, and it's kind of quite joyous, really, because Tim is such a nice bloke. You know what I mean? He's so kind of light and fluffy and effervescent. You know what I mean? He's a good guy. So it's kind of joyous. And then 2 years ago, I saw Liam Gallagher in Colwyn Bay, and he did loads of Oasis songs, and he was great. That's the thing, isn't it? So do I want to go and see Liam Gallagher, whose voice is it's not going to be like it used to be, is it? I just don't think it is. And I'm not a fan of him as a human being, really. I think he's a bit of a tool, really, to be honest.
He is, but that's part of
he's a laugh.
Yeah, he's a good laugh, Lee.
I think he's been a lot better in recent years. I think he's been a lot fun in recent years. Unfortunately, I knew stories about him when he was a kid. I know someone whose brother got really fucking hard time off him when they were at school. I'm not saying that should shadow your judgment of somebody who's a rock and roll star. Or plenty of rock and roll star who are cunts, but plenty of them. But the reality is that I love Definitely Maybe as an album. It's incredible. I love that album. They've written some great songs, but that was their beginning, was their pinnacle.
Yeah.
Their beginning was their greatest moment. And after that, everything was a bit downhill, to be honest.
It was, yeah.
You know, and
I
that's
mean, the follow-up album was decent, but I agree that definitely Maybe's the best one.
Definitely. And of course, today, this very day that we're recording this podcast, Lee, so listeners, we are recording this on the 29th of August, and it was the 29th of August 1994 that Definitely Maybe was released. So 30 years ago.
So that's why they're reforming now, isn't it? That's why they're announcing the gigs.
Of course it is. And do you know, interestingly enough, I watched a YouTube interview, John Robb with Noel Gallagher. 7 days ago this took place, and they were in Sifter's record shop.
Yes, I saw that.
And it's so interesting that Noel is he's talking very nicely about Liam, saying that he was a great front man and that he picked up the songs quickly. You know, there was no venom. There was nothing nasty in the conversation. And I do think that about Noel anyway. I think on the whole, Noel seems like a pretty nice bloke, doesn't he? Pretty decent fella.
Yeah. And he's a good laugh as well. He's very funny.
And he's a good laugh. He's a very funny, witty man. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And he's in his own way, he's a very eloquent man too. Very eloquent, very smart guy. And he was so polite, much more than in many years recently. So polite about Liam. And I thought that was it. This was the precursor. This interview was the precursor to the announcement that they were going to go on tour. There was something about the interview that seemed a little bit staged.
Yeah, I don't think I fully watched all of that interview because John Robb sort of gets on my nerves a bit with him. He asks a question at the end of every question, doesn't he? Like, yeah, you did that, didn't you? Yeah, it was great, wasn't it?
That's brilliant. That's a really good impression of John Robb too.
They've not really explained how this came about, have they? I mean, you know, ever since the breakup,
for 15 years, isn't it?
Slagging each other off publicly, taking every opportunity to stick the knife in, calling each other all sorts of things. And you did think, or I thought, well, it probably isn't going to happen because Liam wants it to happen because he needs the money more than Noel, but Noel doesn't need the money. Noel's absolutely loaded. So,
well, they were saying, Noel's got divorced just recently, so does he need the money again? But I'm thinking, how much fucking money do these people need? Noel Gallagher must be absolutely loaded. They sold 70 million fucking records. I mean, when you think that Blur sold 7 million records and Oasis sold 70 million records.
My George, I didn't know that, though.
Yeah, 10 times more. It's crazy. It's mad to think, isn't it? And you always think of them as being sort of neck and neck. But it's the record sales abroad, places like Japan and stuff that Oasis have sold. It's mad. Honestly, look at those stats. It's true. It's crazy. You know.
Just reading here that Noel Gallagher's net worth is 53 million.
Fucking hell! How much money do you need? How much has Liam got? Liam's probably got 8 million quid.
I think it is about that. I think it is a lot.
Be a lot less.
Less, obviously. God,
but it's still
notifications. Surrey Live. Why am I even on this website? No, I don't want to subscribe to Surrey Live. I didn't even mean to go on it. Right. 6 million, Liam.
6 million quid. But no, so this guy has got 6 million quid. He's lived the fucking life of Riley. He's shagged that many different bloody women. Been married that many times, and he's still got 6 million quid. And he basically what he did was sing his brother's songs, right? That's what he did.
But 6 million. I mean, he lives in London.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, obviously, and we cannot escape the fact that this is clearly motivated by money, as all these massive reunions are. And I don't blame them for it personally, but it does feel pretty soulless, I think. It might be a case that they still hate each other and they're just putting up with each other for the tour.
Yeah, well, it probably is.
I've seen Oasis. I saw them at the Etihad in about 2006, I think it was. And again, I just remember the crowd being absolute full of wankers, you know, pissed up blokes that couldn't hold the beer.
Yeah, that's.
I couldn't wait to get out of there, to be honest. I didn't enjoy the gig.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry, Lee. I'm laughing because my wife has just popped her head. She's there laughing through the door. She knows exactly what we're talking. Yeah, talking about the Heaton Park Vernon.
How come you go to Heaton Park? Because I would have thought are they not doing Wales?
Well, that's what I said. I said I'll go. Let's go to Burn in Cardiff.
Yeah.
£72 a seat in Cardiff. Problem is though, Lee. Jackie made a good point. Now, you go to Cardiff, you've got to find accommodation, haven't you? That night, all the Airbnbs will stick the fucking price up through the roof. The hotels will be that much. They'll be £500 a fucking night. Honestly, the live gig game for original bands is a massive. This is, this should be part of the podcast we're talking about now. The fucking price of tickets for gigs for original bands is fucking-nomical. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's a piss take. I mean, Blur were when we went to see Blur at Wembley last year, in a way that was kind of reasonable. But they were 97 quid, the tickets, But Heaton Park's going to be 150 quid,
To stand up.
Well, that's it.
Stand up. Oh, my
stand
God.
Up.
And listen to a shit sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Loads of knobheads dancing about around you.
Yeah. Yeah. Mostly blokes in
what you should do is
Parkers or bloody Sergio Cittini tracksuits or something.
You should do a bit of a 10-minute live stream for the pod.
Yeah.
Just to share your thoughts.
Well, yeah, I would do, Lee, but the chances are that my missus isn't going to get me a ticket. She says she's going to get her and George one and leave me out. Because I hinted that I would happily go halves on the tickets, but maybe at some point I would take my ticket and sell it on the black market for the price of all three tickets.
That's not a bad idea. I might do that. What time are they on sale?
Well, she's on the early bird catches the worm thing that they do, So they're coming out on Saturday, but there's something tomorrow. She might be able to get tickets.
Like a pre-sale.
Pre-sale, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talking of Heaton Park, Dave, I do remember this just summed up for me. Do you remember that Shane Meadows film Made of Stone when he covered the Stone Roses reunion? Yeah. Right. It's a good film. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, and the concert footage is amazing. I love it. But they have far too many shots of the crowd. And they keep cutting to this dickhead who's climbed on top of an ice cream van. He's dancing. It's like, get fucking down from that ice cream van, you twat.
Get off there, you bloody hooligan.
And I usually encounter on my way home, if there's a gig at Heaton Park, I'm on the tram with all the dickheads. When they do Park Life and it's this dance festival they do. I remember the Courteniers playing. Is it the Courteniers or the Courteeners?
Oh, the Courteeners. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, the tram was absolutely jam-packed with complete dicks.
Yeah.
It was torture for about 25 minutes.
Courteeners. We had to play them in the club. Talk about 5-minute fucking wonders. Absolute average crap. I'm sorry, but this is the problem with so many indie bands. People jump on the bandwagon of something that's new, and it lasts 5 fucking minutes. You get someone like Jake Bugg. Oh, awesome! Jake Bugg's great. He lasts 2 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. I like him for 2 minutes. Anyway, can I just jump in here very quickly to say it is quite unbelievable this, but I'll just read you this little bit of a blurb. Today, the sales score is 6 million to 77 million. That means 6 million to Blur and 77 million to Oasis. And it says here the reason for this huge difference in album sales is Oasis's ability to reach audiences outside of Britain, an aspect that Blur failed in. So there you go.
Well, they never made it in America, did they, Oasis?
No, but Wonderwall was a big hit. But then Song 2 was a big hit in America.
Yeah.
I thought Song 2 had reached number 2 in America. But they didn't sell album. I don't think the Yanks got Blur. I don't think they got their Englishness, the vibe, their quirkiness. Whereas they got Oasis's kind of raw rock and roll sound, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, to an extent. I mean, it's dead hard to crack America because it's so big, isn't it?
I don't think Oasis ever really did anyway, did they? They didn't crack America.
No, because they went over there with a really sort of cocky attitude, which
Dude.
on the one hand, you know, the Americans like it if you're full of confidence, but Liam was like, you Americans are dickheads. He was really obnoxious. And they didn't
jump on
like that
stage
at
and
all.
hit him once in America. Yeah, I think someone.
You know, because if they felt really disrespected by him.
I think he was giving him the V's and calling them wankers, and someone jumped on the stage and hit him. And apparently he wouldn't come back on or something. So the high and mighty tough guy is bullshit. But I was doing a little bit of research for this pod today, listening to this interview with this guy, Ian Robertson, who's written this book about him, because I think he was their road manager for quite a lot of years, and he was a real fixer for them and all sorts.
I might have got that book. What's it called?
It's called, let me have a look now.
I started reading it and
let me find it.
His writing style annoyed me because he kept like going, have it and give a shit.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, Ian Robertson, Oasis, what's the story? Question.
Yeah, I have got it, Dave. Yeah.
Very original. Yeah. The one thing that I thought was interesting about what he was saying was about how he left being their tour manager. He said apparently that him and Liam were in Paris doing some press. And he was getting, you know, understandably too, getting dragged from pillar to post doing different press all the time. You know, I can't fucking be doing with this fucking shit. You know, he's like this, Liam. And they were in a press conference, and there alongside him was Eddie Izzard, right?
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Izzard was there with, you know, with the painted nails and the sort of trans thing going on. And of course, Liam's there going, what's this fucking twat doing here with the fucking painted nails, fucking Danny LaRue? And all this kind of shit going on. And getting really wound up. And of course, Izzard being a bit of a fucking bon vivant there, he's speaking fluent French and all this. And Liam's going, what a fucking ponce, what a puff, what a fucking puff, like this. And he's getting really pissed off that they're not really just focusing on him talking about Oasis. So he fucks off. So I don't know what it was. It was like obviously press conference, different people talking about different things. He fucked off. So I've had enough of this. And he went to this bar. Probably went to this bar down the road, which is like this bar that has like very attractive women in it, quite posh. But you know, of course, Liam heads there. And this guy Robertson goes and finds him. Says, "Come on, we got to do this press conference. It's important. It's important for the band. You know, da 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 da. We need to do it, Liam." And he succumbs, gets back in the car. They're going back to the press conference. And apparently, Liam, as they're driving along, leaps out of the car, right? As they're driving down the road, tumbles down the road. So this guy, Robertson, jumps out after him. And this guy's like an ex-Marine, this Robertson guy, isn't he? So he gets there and he says, "What are you doing, Liam? We need to do this." And apparently, Liam swings and twats him right in the face, right?
Wow.
And then he twats this guy again in the face. And he said, I thought for a second, no, I don't want to hurt him like this because, you know, he's an ex-para. You know, he'd probably like batter him. But he said what he did is he picked him up, apparently. He picked Gallagher up, carted him back in the car to go and do the press conference. And then that very night, he resigned. He said, "Look, I can't do it anymore. I just can't fucking do this. I've had enough."
Yeah.
But in this interview, he doesn't speak that bad of him. He said, you know, he was who he was. He was authentic. You know, he sees him as being authentic, as this believer in this rock and roll lifestyle and doing it that way and all this. I kind of think it's a bit pantomime, to be honest, what he's been doing for the years. I don't, but he knows him better than me. Who am I to say? But it was quite interesting that, you see, it was getting to the stages there where the ego was going through the fucking roof. But then he followed it up to say that the reason, really, though, they split up was because Noel started doing more jobs singing. So he would do his little acoustic set in between the songs, and it really pissed Liam off.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So, yeah, he felt like he was having some of the rug pulled from under him. And the ego and all this, and that heightened the whole sibling rivalry. And that was the end of it, really. That was the beginning of the end.
I thought it had something to do with, didn't someone chuck a plum at the other?
That is the ultimate end of it. Because apparently Liam threw plums at Noel. And he was just saying, "You childish twat," or something. And after a while, Noel walked out, and that was it.
Didn't Noel release some sort of statement that he is leaving for his own personal safety? Because didn't he actually, wasn't he indicating that Liam was becoming really violent towards him.
Yeah, he was saying he swung a guitar that nearly hit him as well, and there was all sorts of stuff, wasn't there? Because he was getting, yeah. And I totally respect that. But like Jack was saying to me before, she said, "Oh, I'm pleased for the mum. She'll be so happy their boys are getting back together then, you know."
Peggy,
Peggy should be, "Oh, I'm so happy." But will she be? Will she be? She might be like this going, "Oh no, I'm a bit worried now. They'll get back together, you see, and then they might have some fallings out again.
One of them will be dead.
One of them will be dead this time. They'll be drinking the feckin' alcohol, and they'll be having the drugs, and they'll really lose the temper on each other this time. It'll be the end of it all.
I'm sure there'll be some of that. I'm sure they will.
Sure now it'll be the end of it all."
I think I did hear one of them say that if they did get back together, it would be because the mum wants, it really upsets the mum that they're so horrible to each other, as any mum would be. But I did hear one great story, and I think, I can't be 100% sure, but I'm sure it was to do with Liam, where he blew some massive deal where they were meeting some record company, maybe in America, and he blew it because he wanted to go and get a lolly.
I can believe it.
He just decided he fancied a lolly.
I've heard a story like that about Shaun Ryder. So I don't know whether.
Oh, maybe it's Shaun Ryder.
It can be. I can see both. I can see either of them doing that, though. Can't you? See Shaun Ryder doing that. See Liam Gallagher doing that.
Well, funnily enough, I did want to talk a bit about the other cocky Manchester bands.
Let's do it.
Shaun Ryder and the Stone Roses. Oh God, Shaun Ryder and Bez. God, did you ever see Bez on The Wheel?
No, I missed him on that.
The Michael McIntyre thing.
Yeah.
Well, bizarrely, they all have like a specialist subject, which they're good at.
What could Bez have? Fucking hell.
Well, Bez's specialist subject was bees, right? But I think they must have misheard him. He probably said ease. Because he didn't get any of the questions about bees right.
That's brilliant.
He looked completely bewildered.
I'll tell you. Can I tell you a little story about Shaun Ryder? This a mate of mine back in Manchester was a taxi driver. I'm sure I've told you this. He's an Asian fella, and he ended up picking up Shaun Ryder, and he said it was like. Do you remember that Martin Scorsese film, Is It After Hours?
Yeah.
All these bizarre things happen during the night, crazy happenings. Well, he picked up Shaun Ryder, and he said he just had this bizarre night because he was just saying, and he couldn't get his name right. So instead of calling him by his Asian name, which he told him, he kept calling him Steve or something, because he couldn't pronounce his name right. And he goes, "Just stop us here, Steve, will you?" And he was like a knocking shop, and he would go in this, he'd go like a brothel.
Oh yeah.
He'd go in there for a bit, and then he'd come back down again. He'd go down.
So he's just ferrying him about for the night, was it?
He was ferrying him out for that, and he was paying him really good money to do it. So he just picked him up randomly, and the next thing you know, he's with him all night, and he's going round scoring some fucking drugs in Cheetham Hill, and he's doing this, and he's down this brothel getting it on with some prosy, and he ends up, wait for it, at his dad's house, meeting his dad and his mum or his stepmom, and he goes, "Oh, this is Steve, he's my mate, he's coming here, we're going to do some breakfast." Apparently it was fantastic with him, but it was this bizarre event, ferrying him around all night and then taking him to his family home like nothing had happened throughout the night. When he's been scoring drugs and screwing prostitutes. It's like fucking Taxi Driver,
Yeah. I remember, Dave, I used to have a job at assessing housing benefit claims, right?
Yeah.
And one of the claims I was assessing was Shaun Ryder's.
Wow. What are you kidding?
He was the partner on this woman's claim, and I was just flicking through it, and they have to send in ID, and there was Shaun's passport photo in a cagoule, obviously, right? Because I saw the name, but I thought, oh, Shaun Ryder, but you just think it's someone else called Shaun Ryder. But when I saw his picture, but then there was something quite dodgy about it. His partner said he didn't have a national insurance number. It was like, well, that's typical Shaun Ryder.
That's
So some dodge going on there. But funnily enough, there was a documentary that I saw probably a couple of months after, where it's about his it's partly about his bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And she's in it, the woman, his partner of the time, and he's talking to his solicitor about, you know, his income and how he pays for things. And he's obviously saying, well, I'm not working, you know, the band's split up and I've not only got a few gigs here and there. So the guy's going, well, how do you pay your rent? And he just says, well, my mum and dad help me with that. And I was like, no, they don't. Fucking claiming housing benefit.
Fucking outrageous.
He's just a born liar.
Scurrilous. I remember Davis coming back from some DJing thing, and Bez was there as a guest DJ, right? I don't think Davis was DJing. I can't remember what it was, but he said it was just terrible. He said he got up on stage. There was another guy there who was doing like the mixing for him on the DJing. So he didn't do anything. All he did, apparently, was intermittently between records, he would shout out, apart from him doing his little dancing with his maracas, shout out, 0161 Manchester, 0161 Manchester. That's it.
Oh God!
The fucking Manchester telephone code.
What talent!
Dickhead.
I remember reading his book. What was it called now? Freaky Dancing, I think it was called.
Was it just like a load of blank pages?
Well, this is it. It starts off like really good. It's like it's got a bit of a political slant on it. You know, he's talking about growing up in Thatcher's Britain and the challenges that they had, and he was making some really good points here. I think, oh my God, this is amazing. Then you find out his wife wrote most of it for him, right? But when it gets into him being in the Mondays, he starts off telling these stories, but they all peter out because he goes, oh yeah, I took loads of these and I can't remember what happened after that. So it was all a bit shit in the end.
It would have been brilliant if they had just deliberately left pages 47, the pages 110 blank. As I say, and ... It was like, I took loads of drugs, ... And then there was just all these blank pages. And then it starts up again, page 111.
But there was quite an interesting chapter where he ended up living in someone's shed.
Amazing.
I did really like it when Oasis emerged because it was at a time when music was pretty shit. You see these Top of the Pops repeats of the early 90s, and it's all this technotronic crap and all these one-hit wonders, awful American stuff like New Kids on the Block. And it was great when Oasis emerged, especially because they were from Burnage and representing Manchester, and they were City fans as well. Yeah, that was another bonus because I think at that point our most famous City fan was Eddie Large. Rick Wakeman, maybe,
Rick Wakeman,
yeah, I don't really know why he supports City. He's not from Manchester, is he? But City really cashed in on them because City were doing shit at that time, and you'd go in the City store and virtually every bit of merchandise was written in the Oasis logo. You know, you just get like a T-shirt, it just said City on it. It'd be written in the Oasis fonts with the box round it, you know.
I think City played a blinder there. And of course, what's interesting is, in a way, City's huge success has kept Oasis's profile so high as well. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would have been.
Yeah, because they're always at the matches, aren't they?
Always at the matches. So
yeah, they are proper fans.
Obviously, they're massive figures in Manchester and around the world. Of course, they are, and Britain. I think this is the problem for me. The problem is that beyond the Smiths, beyond the Stone Roses, beyond any of these other Happy Mondays, brilliant Manchester bands, the issue I have with Oasis is not their fault. It's a fault of their success. And it's the fact that they've acquired a high percentage of fans who are fucking dumb, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the sad truth. I hate to say it, but you just know that someone who is not like a connoisseur of music will go, "Oh, I fucking love Oasis, though. I love that song." It's the popularity thing in a way that has caused being a fucking music snob like me. No, but I don't think I'm a music snob. I don't think that's the case. I think I remember this few people that I used to work with in this place down the road, and they would go, "Oh, Oasis, they're just the best band ever. They're the greatest band in the world. They're the great." And I was thinking,
that's what they used to say.
I felt like going, "What the fuck do you know about music? Have you been studied music? Have you listened to Led Zeppelin? Have you listened to Deep Purple? Have you listened to Pink Floyd? Have you listened to the Smiths? Have you listened to fucking anybody? Do you have any real taste in music? Do you have any understanding of any fucking music at all in your fucking dim little brain?" I didn't say that to him, of course, but that's what I was thinking.
I was imagining you there, Dave, saying that, and then
I really wanted
getting
to.
sacked.
There's one fucking individual in particular. I wanted to smack him on the head like that. Kunk, kunk, kunk. What are you talking about, you moron? Do you know anything? Because you get like simpleton. That's part of the problem. So there are simpletons.
Yeah, you're right. I know what you mean, because I felt like that when I was at the Oasis gig. It was like people that you can just tell they're not really massive music fans.
It's just that kind of ridiculous, broad, sweeping statement by some that I've heard a few people say, "They're the fucking greatest ever," and all. And it makes you think, well, no, they had one really great album by a young man who had all these great songs that sort of splurted out of him. But after that, it kind of went downhill, actually. When it comes to like Definitely Maybe and all that, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Noel Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's one of Britain's great songwriters, without a doubt, you know. I mean, he's a tunesmith. He's like McCartney. He's a tunesmith, isn't he? He's written some great tunes. You know, some of his lyrics are a bit dodgy, obviously, you know, look inside the eye of your mind and all that kind of stuff. Shine, you know. Some of it's a bit Moon June Spoon in it, but so is Macca. I mean, Mac is my favourite. You know, he's like my favourite songwriter, really. Some of the songs he's written. But. That
reminds me of his quote when Bonehead left Oasis and fans were reacting, the press were reacting, and Noel was like, "Well, it's just Bonehead. It's not like McCartney leaving the Beatles."
That's right.
Wonder if Bonehead will be back.
Yeah, of course he will.
Do you think? It'll probably be as a special guest, I think. Because I think they'll probably reform with the band that split up, you know, with Jem Archer and.
No, I think they'll go for Bonehead because
the guy from what's he? Andy Bell from. So what's that band called he was in?
Eurasia.
No, yeah, there was Andy Bell, Eurasia. Yeah. Ride,
yes. Okay, yeah.
So you think Bonehead will be back?
Yeah, I do, because I think he was because him and Liam formed Rain, didn't they?
Yeah.
Then it became Noel's band, didn't it? Because Noel took over, brought the songs in and everything.
Yeah.
And all that. But he was one of the originals. So I'm kind of thinking they'll be looking to go kind of original myself.
Oh, right.
Well, I might be completely wrong. It might just be the brothers with a load of session musicians, you know, who knows? Because it's about the brothers, isn't it? It's about the brothers. It's about the arguments. Obviously, it's about the songs. And it's about promoters making a fucking killing.
Yeah. What's your prediction for how much you think a pint will be, Dave? A pint of warm Tuborg lager.
It'll be the worst kind of fucking Amstel.
$8.50, I reckon.
You know, Amstel, if you have Amstel beer abroad, it's really nice. If you ever have Amstel beer at a festival, it is like sheep's piss. And you'd pay like £7 for it or whatever, if you're lucky, aren't you? I think maybe when we went to bloody Boardmasters in Cornwall, which, God.
I love it when you mention Boardmasters.
That just makes me weeply, you know, when I think about it. But when we went to Boardmasters,
what a great name for a festival.
Honestly, just the sight of teenage girls having a piss, maybe even having a shit in front of you.
Oh, my Lord.
The toilets were so despicable. Oh, God. I mean, it was literally holding in your turds. Walking into Newquay so you could find a toilet. Oh, the toilets were Oh,
I hate festivals.
oh, the fucking hell! I don't think I'll ever
Apart
go.
from fairly low key, I go to this tribute festival
Nothing wrong with that.
called Festwich, right? Which is held in Prestwich up until this year. It's actually starting this weekend, but
Controversial.
it's being moved to Heaton fucking Park.
Oh, you're kidding
So
me!
I'm not going.
Fucking Heaton Park again. Fucking Heaton Park.
It used to be in this nice little park in Prestwich. It was
There'll
lovely.
be shootings. There'll be killings.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be all sorts.
Fucking Heaton Park.
Something's just reminded me of what pissed me off when I went to see that Oasis gig, is that the support band were the Super Furry Animals, right? Who are a great band and a band I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
But they were getting loads of shit from the crowd.
Well, there you go.
You know, most music fans would appreciate what a good band the Super Furries are. But most of the fans were just giving them the finger or booing. Gruff, the singer, started being quite sarcastic to them.
I don't blame him. Because the thing with, Griff Rhys is a brilliant songwriter, and Super Furries are a brilliant band. But the thing is, Noel Gallagher will know that. He's probably a huge admirer. It's not all Noel's fans and Liam's fans. It's a section, isn't it? It's like football hooligans. This is the point I suppose I'm making. It's kind of like you've got true football fans and then football fans who just want to cause shit. You know, not so much anymore, but back in the day. And that is an epitome of an Oasis audience, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can have a group of people just want to go there, hear the songs because they love it, see this reunion, but there are going to be people there who are just going to be machoing it out, trying to be the big man. There's going to be loads of that.
Doing the cocky walks.
Doing the cocky walks, putting the Parker Max on, trying to be it, blah, blah, blah. And
that reminds me, Dave, I remember in Viz.
Yeah.
In Viz, there was a great advert for these courses in Mank walks. I'll find it. Just a minute. Oh, yeah, here it is. Right, here it goes. Are you walking like a right southern twat? Quick, hurried steps or an effeminate gait? Shoulders not rocking from side to side? Mank Walk 2000 has the courses for you. Our instructors have over 20 years' experience walking around the streets of Manchester like a right cocky cunt. There's a great picture of Ian Brown doing his cocky walk.
That is brilliant. That is so true, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, there's a quote here from Mr. K. Barlow.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Ken Barlow. What does it say now? My walk was unremarkable, but after 6 weeks on Mank Walk 2000, I now swagger around like a piss chimp. I now swagger around like a piss chimp in a nappy full of porridge.
That is
Brilliant. Another thing, Dave, that I was thinking about, do you ever remember that great line in Peep Show about super hands? Mark ends up working at this kitchen showroom.
When he had Super Hands as his boss.
Yeah, so he goes something like, Super Hands is my boss. That's insane. That's like making Sean Ryder responsible for setting the LIBOR rate.
Brilliant. So the reality is, pal, I don't think I'll be going. I mean, I have left the window open there to my wife if she wants to get a ticket. Chances are, if we got it,
they don't want you there spoiling it in a way.
I don't think that's it. Well, I think my wife's going to get one she's going to get 2 tickets. I think the plan is but George isn't a massive fan. He's kind of like me. He's dead sarky about them like me because he's quite a sophisticate with his music. You know, he loves Radiohead, Pink Floyd, Steely Dan. You know, he likes these quite complex bands with kind of interesting melodies.
Yeah.
Even something like Arctic Monkeys, because they went kind of very left field, and you know, and he's got a real broad taste in music. So Oasis is not right up there. You know, he's not. No. He's like me. He likes a lot of the songs. Definitely, maybe he likes some of the other songs of What's the Story, Morning Glory. He appreciates these incredible anthemic tunes, the success of it all, but he's He was a proper little music head. He's really got so into his music. He loves Blur, you know. He loves Blur and he loves Radiohead. Tomorrow night we're going to go and see Just Radiohead. Talking about cover bands.
Oh yeah,
And Chester Live Rooms. Going into Chester tomorrow to watch them. So yeah, but we're not like, even the missus. She's not overly enthusiastic. She's been to see him and she loved it. She's been to see him at Main Road. She loved it. I think the problem here is that you're going to have a 57, maybe 58-year-old man and a 52-year-old man, in particularly the 52-year-old man, still trying to be a 21-year-old, you know, giving it like...
He does act like that, though.
He does. And when he's calmed down a bit...
changed that much.
No, he hasn't, but he has calmed down a bit, I think, and he's definitely a more likable person now than he was. He's quite funny in his interviews and some of the things he said. You know, and he can be self-deprecating, calling himself I'm a total cunt. He said about himself in one interview.
There was a great quote I was reading today from Liam when he was saying that he was the reincarnation of John Lennon.
Yeah.
Even though he was born 8 years before John Lennon died.
Yeah, funny. And in this interview, in that John Robert interview, I thought was good as well, because Noel sort of takes the mick out of himself. He said, you know, I think some people were thinking, who the hell are this band with this cocky 19-year-old frontman thinking he's it? And then this other fella writing these songs that were like homage to people who had died years before. You know, he's taking it all, you know, basically plagiarizing. It's kind of what he said, plagiarizing.
Yeah, he's always been quite open about that, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I love that about. I like that about Noel. He's quite self-deprecating like that. He's not pretending.
He had to pay Gary Glitter some royalties, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he nicked.
I'm not surprised.
Was it Rock and Roll Part 2 or something that he lifted?
I tell you what, the start of Cigarettes and Alcohol, for example, things like that, it sounds like so like Mark Bolan.
No. Yeah.
It's so Mark Bolan. There's so many things you go, oh, I'm forgetting all the Beatles stuff. I mean, like that bloody, you know, there's so many songs, you know, I'm free to do whatever I choose, and I got the blue.
That's a great song.
It's a great song, but it's start to finish, absolutely Beatles, the structure of it, the changes in it. It is so... but they would admit that. Noel's great at that, but it pays huge homage, in particular, to the Beatles. You know, Don't Look Back in Anger and all that. It's got that very Beatles-esque thing, isn't it? But that's...
Yeah, well, he's wearing his influences on his sleeve.
Yeah, he is. And I absolutely agree with that. I completely... And with Liam, the pair of them, they're not denying that for a second, you know. But anyway, there you go. Fun and games. And credit to him, and hats off to him. But it'll be interesting to see.
It will. Any final thoughts, Dave? If we're finishing now, to the holy shrines.
To the holy shrines of Heaton Park.
So, what are your? What would you say?
Heaton Park, and we saw some of the local savages.
What would you say are your favourite Oasis songs, Dave? You got like a top 5?
Live Forever.
Yeah.
Master Plan. Not very much. Great song. Them definitely my favourites, I think. Columbia.
Oh yeah. And
Mike Flowers Pop's version of Wonderwall.
Oh yeah.
Just fucking brilliant. I just love it.
Great, yeah.
Like, seriously, that Mike Flowers Pop's album, I've got it. It is genius. I love it.
We might play out without them.
Oh my god! And also, if listeners, if you get a chance, buy it, because get it for like £4 on eBay. Listen to their version of "I'm In with the In Crowd." It is just so swinging 60s. It's so good. Yeah, great.
So I would say my favourite songs, Supersonic. Absolutely love that. And I remember seeing them.
Supersonic, great song.
When they played that on The Word, that was the first appearance. I just thought, oh my God, this is brilliant. And the band looks so different. You know, they're not looking like very cool at all. But what a song. Brilliant song.
I agree. Yeah, that I remember that so well. So well. There's two things around that period that I remember really well, was hearing that for the first time, seeing it on The Word and going, fucking hell, that's brilliant. And then the other one, what became their bitter rivals, Blur when I was in the car and I put the radio on and I heard Girls and Boys for the first time.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, wow. And I went, that's going to be number one. That's fucking amazing. That's a hit. But yeah, I mean, Oasis, what an impact. And funnily enough, it's interesting. They became the height of the whole Britpop thing, didn't they? And I suppose between them, you know, you could argue, especially Oasis, but I think between them, really, it raised the bar, didn't it, for like pop music, indie music in Britain. And it kind of raised everything up a bit. It kind of made everybody feel good. We got rid of the Tories. We got this Labour government in power. We got Britpop. We had a few things to feel a bit proud of, didn't we?
Yeah.
And for a gleaming period of time, it was a wonderful period of time. I think, you know, it was great.
I also like, some might say, Live Forever, Acquiesce. That's a really good one because the B-sides were brilliant. But I think one of my favourites, and
nice
this is also a B-side, is Listen Up. Then if you know that one.
Yeah.
I used to play that one to death. I loved it.
Great song.
And Whatever's a good one as well.
Yeah, Whatever.
Little by Little, that's pretty good of the latest stuff.
Noel's a great songwriter. There's no doubt about it. He's written some brilliant songs.
I've not really listened to any of his solo stuff, to be honest.
Some of it's good.
Yeah.
When we saw it live, I thought some of it was really good. Obviously, he finished off with a lot of Oasis songs, and obviously that sort of stands out in your mind more but mainly because the sort of sonic filter that you have in your brain, you've heard those songs so many times, so they're memorable, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, but some of his new songs were really good. There's the High Flying Bird songs were great.
Is it his last album, Council Skies?
Yeah.
I've heard that's pretty good. I heard someone saying what a good album that was today. I can't remember who it was now.
I mean,
someone I was watching on YouTube.
To be honest as well, you know, I admire him a lot because, in particular, because it sounds like he had the most fucking horrendous childhood. It sounds like his dad was an absolute...
He was. He took the brunt of it, apparently. Yeah.
Fucking see you next Tuesday, wasn't he? He was an absolute cunt, right? And it sounds like him and his brother, Paul...
Him and Paul got... He apparently left Liam alone for some reason.
Yeah. So this is the thing. It's amazing that Liam's the one who's got all the anger and everything, really, and all the sort of aggression and all that, and he's not the one who was basically abused. You know, Noel's a survivor of abuse, and he's handled it incredibly. Possibly because he's been able to write songs and express himself, and you know he's not needed because apparently he's never had any kind of therapy for his childhood, so he's been able to deal with it. And I think, dare I say it, you know, music is good like that. I mean, music's got me through some really tough times. Fortunately, I think, you know, and have been able to write some quite good songs in my time. And, you know, okay, it's ended up being a hobby for me, really. But even though it looked kind of close at one point, like, you know, things were happening.
Some of your stuff's great, Dave.
Well, thank you very much.
All of your stuff is great.
Well, thank you. And like I say, it's a joy as well, just playing something to my son tonight. And he goes, "Wow, Dad, that's brilliant," you know, and that means so much for your own son to tell you that a song that you've done is great, you know, and then getting my son to play a bass line to it. Wonderful. Yeah. So the thing, I remember someone saying, a girlfriend of mine, friend in proper inverted commas, you know, she said to me, she'd had a bad breakup with some boyfriend, and she said, "I can see why you don't need to have any therapy, Dave, or counselling when you get down, or you can fight through it because you've got this." Because I was playing some songs to her and I was doing something at the time. She goes, you can use this to exercise your demons and to do all. Music is brilliant for
music
that.
is amazing for that, isn't it? It is a great escape, you know.
It is, and that does not have to be the person who makes it. Like you say, it's for everybody. Listening to it, buying into it, escaping into it is a great way to absolve yourself of your demons and your problems, you know.
I was reading today that Liam got into music in a big way after he got twatted on the head with a hammer.
Yes, I just read that before I meant to say.
I'd never ever heard that story before.
It was when he was 14 and someone from another school twatted.
Yeah, I wonder if it was my school.
I was thinking exactly that. I bet it was.
Because Parswood and Barlow, or
Were
St
always-
Mark's as it was before Barlow, they were always at it.
That's hilarious. I bet it was, you know. I bet it was.
Probably
But
was. It was the nearest school, and
yeah, I bet it was Parswood. Someone from Parswood lamped him on the head with a hammer. But apparently, it was after that, wasn't it? It was only after that he wasn't interested at all in music. And then a girlfriend he had was playing loads of Madonna. So apparently the first song that he sang was Like a Virgin. And he went, yeah, fucking sort of stuck in my head, you know. So I kind of thought, that's all right, it's all right. So I started singing it. But then I went to see the Stone Roses, and I got really into the Stone Roses after that.
Yeah, I think there was a gig at the International 2, wasn't it, in 1988?
88, correct.
Where they both went, Liam and Noel.
Liam
and
and Noel went together.
They both say if they hadn't gone to that gig, Oasis wouldn't have happened.
It really made me think, because someone who lives locally is Charlene Spiteri of Texas. She lives near me, just down the road, right? And I was chatting with her. She's dead friendly, you know, when you see her.
You were chatting with Charlene Spiteri, Dave?
Yeah, I've done it quite
You've never mentioned this before.
No. Well, she's married to Bryn Williams, isn't she? And they've got a house.
Who?
The chef, you know, the celebrity chef.
Really.
And they won't watch the kids' football. So my lad plays with Bryn's nephew, and they go and watch the football, and he sponsors the team and everything. And Charlene's there quite often. But when I worked in the De Norman down the road, she used to come. They would come in for meals, and I would have a chat with them. And I said to Charlene this night, I said, I saw you at the International 2 with Texas, and you finished the song with I Don't Want a Lover, I Need a Friend, because that was your big hit at the time. But you did a cover of Sweet Child of Mine. I said, it was pretty good. You did a really good job of it. And do you know what she did? She went, all right. That would have been September 1989. She fucking knew exactly when it was.
Wow.
That was amazing. The way she came out with it. She knew exactly when she did that gig at International 2 and sang Sweet Child of Mine.
I saw some great gigs there, I remember.
Oh, me
It was
too.
a shit venue.
It was a shit
You know
venue.
what they used to do? Do you remember? They used to turn the water off in the toilets.
Yeah.
So you couldn't drink it. Because it was a
absolutely.
sweat box, wasn't it? It was no windows.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
I saw all sorts. I saw the farm there. I saw. I'm going to confess this. I saw Roachford. And I saw I promise you, I saw a Japanese rock band called Vow Wow Wow.
Oh, I've seen Vow Wow at the Apollo, actually.
Was it?
Yeah.
I just thought they were so funny.
Yeah,
all the lyrics
they
are like, the dinosaurs!
Yeah, they're always singing about dinosaurs coming out of a mountain.
Exactly. The volcano!
Or a volcano, yeah.
And the pterodactyl! Fucking brilliant.
Oh, wow. God, Dev, you've surprised me tonight.
Yeah, no, I saw loads. I saw Fishbone.
Do you know what, Dave? When you said Roachford on the back of Texas, I was thinking that your musical tastes are very similar to Alan Partridge.
I know. It was 89 though, mate, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
That song was that, you know, I did think you know, I Don't Want Love was a pretty good song, but at the same time, the best song at that time was Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians.
Oh God, I hated them. Was that what it is, or what it is, or
what it is what it is. What
you know, babe. Next you'll be telling me you're into fairground attraction.
It's got to be worth it.
God, Edie Brickell, God.
I love that song.
Yeah, well, it's all right.
I thought that was great. But anyway,
didn't she have an album called Shooting Rubber Bands at the Moon or something?
She might have done, to be honest.
I don't know why that's just popped into my head.
I just remember liking both those songs. I remember liking You Don't Want to Love, which I thought was very MOR then, but I thought it was quite catchy. But I thought the Edie Brickell song was quite in. But that's what we had at the time, didn't we? We didn't have a lot until then Nirvana came along. And then Nirvana was good. Well,
I beg to differ, Dave. The rock and metal scene was thriving in the late 80s.
But I was a bit naive about all that. But after saying that, to my credit, I would go quite often to an international too and see people like Bow Wow Bow and other people, you know.
That's amazing. He saw Bow Wow.
Yeah. You've corrected me. I always thought their name was Vow Wow Wow for some reason, but it's Vow Wow.
No, that's Bow Wow Wow, isn't it?
I saw somebody else, another rock band that were great, like really kind of hard rock. There, the name escapes me. Was Fishbone like an all-black rock band?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. They were great. I saw them as well. They were great. They were at the International too. But the thing is, it was cheap enough just to go down and check them out. You could do that then.
What, pay on the door, you mean?
Yeah. Never paid hardly anything. And they were good up-and-coming bands, weren't they? Big bands, really. Never paid a lot of money.
Do you want to know what I was listening to today? Whilst I was doing some painting, Dave, what I was listening to.
Go on.
On the back of the last pod, if you remember, the cover star of the last pod was Ian McShane, of course.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, I'll listen to his seminal album, From Both Sides Now.
Oh, he's got the cover of Joni Mitchell.
So I've had this on repeat for about 3 hours. He has got a decent voice, you know, very recognisable, very smooth.
A beautiful talking voice, of course.
Yep, and he's both sides now are Joni Mitchell.
Yeah, I've seen the world.
Yeah, that's top song, that.
The ups and downs, and still somehow. Yep.
Some of it is, I mean, he's done a cover of Avalon.
Yeah.
And he's done
rock to music.
Fool If You Think It's Over. Is that an Elkie Brooks?
Fool If You Think It's Over. No, that is. Fool If You Think It's Over is the big Geordie man. What's his name? Driving Home for Christmas.
Oh, Chris Rea.
Chris Rea. Yeah.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's Chris Rea, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, a lot of it is a bit Beverly Craven type Elkie Brooks. There's a cover of Drive, the car song.
Oh my God.
And a very jaunty version of Every Breath You Take by the Police, which clearly whoever arranged it does not understand that is a sinister song. Yeah, it's not quite like that. But it's about stalking, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
it's done an upbeat version of Every Breath You Take. Every breath you take.
10cc, I'm Not in Love.
Oh well, great song.
Yeah, and I'd really love to see you tonight. I don't know who originally did that. He did The Guy's in Love with You.
Oh, this guy's in love. This guy's in love with you. That one.
I think something like that.
Yeah.
I think
the Bacharach song.
Yeah, I Don't Mind. Don't know
Fool
that.
If You Think It's Over is a Chris Rea song.
I Could Have Been a Sailor. Reason to Believe, Bluer Than Blue. Is that Joni Mitchell again, is it? Bluer Than Blue?
I wrote a song called Bluer Than Blue. He's not pinched one of my songs, has he? And not paid me any.
The Shadow of Your Smile.
Oh, yeah, Shadow of Your Smile. That's a famous Matt Monro song, I think. Well, Matt Monro sang it. That's a sort of classic crooner song.
But you know what? I was thinking, why didn't McShane do a rock album, like rock anthems?
Yeah. We had the hair. He had the hair.
He could have done like I Surrender by Rainbow or...
Yeah. I surrender. I surrender. Fantastic.
Yeah, or Here We Go Again by Whitesnake.
I'm looking at it now. They're both sides. Oh, look at the album cover. The McShane hair.
Dave, do you want to know something? I've got a 7-inch single of Avalon by Ian McShane with a poster bag. I've been meaning to send it you.
Please do. Please do. Now, listen, this is the thing. It's very, very unlikely I'm going to go and see the Oasis reunion.
Nice.
But if McShane goes on tour, mate, you and me, we're going.
Oh, definitely. Well, he seems to have dropped his career. I don't think he did a follow-up album.
No, it'd be brilliant. We should
Very
try and sponsor him to go on tour. I could be his warm-up. I could go on before him. You know. Now listen, I've done my songs, but let me introduce to you the marvellous, the great, the fantastic, the incredibly preserved Ian McShane. I can't believe he's 80 odd. He looks incredible. Looks amazing.
I remember we vowed at one point to mention Ian McShane in every podcast. So we did fall off that that quest.
Well, we need to be doing it again.
But we need to get back on it, and I'm happy to say that we have done tonight. So yeah, check it out. Great album. Not as perhaps good as Definitely Maybe, but close enough. Right. That's it for tonight.
Yeah. Have it.
So if you're getting tickets, good luck, and I hope you enjoy the gig.
And just remember, if you're feeling down, get out there. Get out. Get the swagger going. Walk like you're a chimpy with porridge in a fucking nappy, right? And swagger those fucking shoulders as well. And always remember, you must shine.
Give it up for Oasis, making their TV debut with Supersonic.